Welcome to Sri Chaitanya. This is Uma Shankar. Yeah, applications of derivatives is the most important topic in entire differential calculus. Of that, so far we completed tangent and normal in lesson 1 and monotonicity in lesson number 2. And now we are concentrating maxima minima. This is about lesson number 3 of applications of derivatives. Already I have introduced some of the terms and terminology of maxima minima in monotonicity also, but here in this lesson we are mainly concentrating the behavior of the continuous function where it goes maxima or reaches maxima and it reaches minima, and those important valuable points now here we are going to discuss. And this is very, very important, my friends. Once after completion of this part, and of course I will give some more another important tips of maxima minima and some of the shortcuts in maxima minima where they are very, very useful for coming JEE mains examination as well as for advanced examination in lesson number 3 and 4 also if possible. And after that I will concentrate more on mean value theorems. Once after completion of this session, we will focus more on concepts versus problems orientation videos I will release topic wise. That will help you a lot. Okay, my friends, soon everything will be known. And as per my previous videos, already I said there I have given 50 days strategy for mathematics, how to get good marks in coming JEE examinations. For that I am preparing one good mathematics paper also for you. Please don't neglect that paper. Solve each and every model. First of all, try to understand the concept behind the problems and practice more that kind of problems. Okay, this is one of the suggestions. Now coming to this maxima minima applications of derivatives concept. Now here, what is maxima minima? How maxima minima are clarified? See, here we are talking about the continuous functions. So my friends, see, first try to understand the graph here. Suppose this is the graph given for you, and here in this graph what happened? At this particular point x is equal to a, here this is the corresponding point, this is x is equal to a, and say suppose this is x is equal to b, and in the neighborhood of x is equal to a, say let it be a minus h and a plus h. This is this open interval is the neighborhood of a. Among all points in the neighborhood, among all functional values in the neighborhood, which value is maximum? Only this value is maximum. That's why this is maximum value of the function at x is equal to a. That how can we explain in terms of mathematics? So a function is said to have a maximum at x is equal to a if f of a is greater, this is the greatest value, greater than all other values, then it is the greater value, and this is the only greater value and greatest value when compared with all other values which are from all functional values attained from a minus h to a plus h. What are a minus h and a plus h? They are immediate neighborhood of the point a. So symbolically how can I represent? So this f of a, this value is f of a, this is greater than f of a minus h as well as f of a plus h. Whenever f of a is greater than f of a minus h is what? Smallest positive quantity. Smallest positive quantity. When compared with all functional value a minus h, a minus that means suppose if a is equal to 2, my h is equal to some 0.1. Suppose my a is equal to 2 and my h is equal to 0.1, then a minus h becomes what? 1.9. So from 1 and a plus h becomes what? 2.1. So from 1.9 to 2.1 you take any interval, then among all functional values from f of 1.9 to 2.1, if this is the 2 and f of 2 is the greatest, then I can say that the function has maximum at x is equal to. Clear? So this is the graph here indicates like this. See, this is the beauty of this particular graph. See, here this is the maximum, this is the maximum. Because among all functional values, this is the greatest. When a minus h to a, between you take any value between a minus h to a, f of a is the greatest. And you take any value between a to a plus h, a to a plus h. Among all functional values, which value is the greatest? F of a, this is the greatest. Then only we can say that the functional f of a is maximum. F of a is maximum. Clear? In the same way, we can define minimum also. Similarly, minimum. See, suppose if it is b, at x is equal to b. See, this is the neighborhood of b. So, say on the same line I am telling here. Suppose this is my graph here, and this is my b, and this is open interval b minus h comma b plus h. Okay. Among all functional values of f in the neighborhood of b, where b minus h comma b plus h, open interval b minus h comma b plus h is the smallest neighborhood of b, then f of b, this is the value f of b. This value f of b is minimum. Is minimum. That means f of b minus h is greater than f of b, as well as f of b plus h, again it is greater than f of b plus h is greater than f of b. Whenever this condition holds good, then we can say that at x is equal to b, on the curve, the function has minimum. Clear, my friends? And whenever we are talking about maxima or minima of a function at a particular point, what I told even in our previous videos also, the point should belongs to domain of the function. We are not talking about any other points which is not there in the domain of the function. So the validity holds good only if the point is in the domain of the function. Clear? Now coming to here, the most important information here I am giving in the points. Suppose if I have taken my continuous function, this is the continuous function defined in a closed interval a b. See the beauty of the continuous function? It may be like this, it may be like this. And some points it has steep edges, and some points it has corners, and at some points it has heights, something like that. This kind of curves are called what? Non-monotonic curves. What I told, if a curve is monotonic, either it is increasing or decreasing, not both. But it is here, sometimes it is decreasing, and sometimes it is increasing, and sometimes it is decreasing, and some increasing, decreasing. So in the entire interval, it is continuous. Because why it is continuous? I have not lifted my hand. While drawing this particular graph in this particular interval, anywhere I never lifted my hand. That is the important point to notice. So what happens here? See. So at this point, the function has, suppose they say this is a1, and say this is b1, and say this is c1, and say this is d1, and say this is e1, and say this is f1, and say this is h1. So what happens, my friends? At a1, the function has a maximum, and at b1, this function has what? Minimum. And at c1, this function has what? Maximum. And at d1, it has what? Minimum. And at e1, it has maximum. At f1, it has minimum. And at h1, it has maximum. So if a continuous function is situated like this, that means if a non-monotonic function is situated like this, clear? So it has several maximum values as well as minimum values. These maxima and minima values are called local maxima or local minima. See the beauty in the terms. Try to understand the language of the terms, especially that we are focusing here. So they are not, don't use maximum. They are called what? Local maxima. This is local minimum. This is local maxima or relative maxima. Relative, why we are using relative? When compared with all functional values, it is the greatest. When compared with the all values in the neighborhood of that particular point, it is the minimum. That is why we are using relative. So local maxima or relative maxima, local minima or relative minima are the suitable words. Sometimes in this curve, what happens, sometimes maxima value is less than the minima value also. See, at A1, what happens? This is local maximum. What happened at minimum? At D1, what happened? Here, when compared with the functional value at x is equal to A1, it is less than the functional value at x is equal to D1. So, f of A1 is less than f of D1. That means what? Here in this graph, what I would like to tell or share with you is that local maxima sometimes at a point on the curve may be less than local minima at some other point on the curve. So, local maxima doesn't mean that it is always maxima. Local minima doesn't mean that it is always minimum. That is why they are called what? Peta rowdies and street rowdies or state rowdies like that. So, in this local environment or in this local area only it is maximum. In this local environment and in the local stage only it is the minimum. Sometimes this local maximum may be less than some at another point the local minimum also. So, this is all happens for what? For continuous curve defined on closed interval AB. Clear? So, this is the difference between local maxima and local minima, and this local maxima and minima values, they are also called, the values are also called extremum values or external values or turning values. So, external values, extremum values or turning values are also called maxima and minima values. Maxima and minima values. And again what I told, maxima and minima may not be the greatest or least of the function in the given finite interval, provided the function is what? Continuous function. Sometimes what happens? Minimum value at any point may be greater than maximum value at another point. Okay, and another beautiful point, this is very, very, very important point. Based on that, we can expect very good questions also in calculus. For a continuous function, already we have observed this graph, between two consecutive minimum there exists a maximum. Between two consecutive maximums there exists a minimum. Whenever a continuous function defined in a closed interval AB and it is non-monotonic, a continuous non-monotonic function is defined in a closed interval AB, then between two consecutive maxima there is a minima. Between two consecutive minima there is a maxima. And this is the beautiful concept and application of what Rolle's theorem that we will learn in the next mean value theorem concept. So, this is one of the beautiful important property, please don't forget. Clear, my friends? Now coming to here, then okay. So, okay, if a curve is known to you, then it is very easy to identify whether at a point on the curve maximum or minimum exists or not. With the help of the basic curves, it is very easy for us. But if difficult or somewhat typical curves are given for you, then what are the necessary and sufficient conditions to find maxima or minima? This is important. So, for problem solving point of view, this concept help you a lot. So, when can we say and what condition we can say the function has a maximum, and what condition you can say the function has minimum? What are those necessary and sufficient conditions that here in this particular area we are concentrating? So, my friends, try to understand. Suppose this is the graph of the function. Here what happened? In the neighborhood of, suppose this is my point x is equal to a and this is my neighborhood of a. So, this is my graph and this is my graph of the function and this is my point a and this is my neighborhood of a. This is a minus h and a plus h, where h is the smallest positive quantity. See, among a minus h to a, consider all functional values among a minus h to a. What happens? All functional values, they are always less than what? F of a. So, whenever, that means here the curve is like this. That means the curve is increasing. The curve is increasing up until at what point? At x is equal to a. So, whenever the curve is increasing, according to our previous video, which is concentrated on monotonicity, what can we say? Whenever dy by dx greater than 0, we can say that the derivative of the function is greater than 0, we can say that the curve is increasing. So in this particular interval, that means in the left neighborhood of the point A, it is what? The curve is increasing. And after that, in the right neighborhood of A, the curve is what? Decreasing, it coming down, coming down. That means dy by dx less than 0 in the right neighborhood of A. So it is increasing in the left neighborhood of A and it is decreasing in the right neighborhood of A. Clear? And at A, what happens? The derivative becomes 0. That is dy by dx at A is equal to 0. Whenever this situation, you imagine, if dy by dx greater than 0 in the neighborhood, that means the curve goes on increasing. And in the neighborhood, and at that point, dy by dx is equal to 0. That means stably it sits down. And after that, whenever dy by dx is less than 0, automatically the curve comes down. So whenever curve goes like this and sitting at some point and continuously going down, then we can say that at that point the curve has what? Maximum value. So what can I say? At a maximum point, dy by dx becomes what? 0. So at a point x is equal to a, when derivative of the function is 0, then we can say that the curve has a maximum point. Of course, some terms and conditions will apply. This is what? Just a necessary condition. So to find maxima and minima, or if a function, or anybody can say that yes, this point, for this function, at this point it has a maximum or minimum. Immediately what can I say? Immediately I can say that at that point, the derivative of the function becomes 0. At that particular point, at maxima or minima, at that particular point, the derivative becomes 0. Derivative becomes 0 means what? Geometrically, if I am talking about it, it is, what is the existence of derivative? It is possible to draw a tangent at each and every point. Whenever derivative becomes 0 means there exists a tangent which is parallel to x-axis. This is x-axis. It is possible to draw a tangent parallel to x-axis. So at maximum point, if you have drawn the tangent on the curve, automatically it is parallel to what? X-axis. That is the beauty. The same thing happens even for minimum also. Suppose say this is B. Suppose say this is B. And this is the neighborhood of B. B minus H and B plus H. See what happens. Try to understand the behavior. The curve is coming like this. That means it is decreasing. And after that, it's sitting down and taking rest. And now it is thinking about his future. If it is goes on rising, that means it is increasing. Then if the situation like this, first it is decreasing and after that settling at one particular point, and after that it goes on increasing, then at that settled point we can say that the function has what? Minimum. Minimum means similarly at the same time, same thing, at dy by dx at x is equal to b, again it is what? 0. So at maxima or minima, whenever differentiation becomes 0, or differentiation becomes 0. So this condition is what? If to find, suppose if anybody is asking you to find, okay, at what point the function has maxima or minima, then immediately what to do? Immediately find the derivative and you equate it to 0 and solve that equation. You will get the points. At those points, the function may have what? Maxima or minima. See, here I haven't told anything confidently, yes, it has only maxima or it has only minima, something like that. But to find a maxima or minima, the derivative at that point must be what? Equal to 0. This is condition is called necessary condition. This condition is called what? Necessary condition. See, the same thing will happen even at x is equal to b also. And that maxima and minima points are also called what? Stationary points. See, different words here we are using. Maxima and minima points. Points I am talking about it. Point I am talking. Value is different, point is different. Whenever I am talking about the points, maxima and minima value means where the function derivative of the function becomes 0, then I can say that the point is maximum point and the point is minimum point. Okay, confidently how can we say yes, at this particular point it has maximum only, it has minimum only? That we will learn, that we will get in the next slides. So what is the necessary condition at which the function has maxima or minimum? Okay, where the derivative of the function becomes 0, simply I can say that the function has maximum or minimum point. See my friends, this is the same thing, same situation, this I have explained here. So hence dy by dx equal to 0 is the necessary condition for maxima or minima. See, this is also a bit for you. They may ask, which of the following condition is the necessary condition, or which of the following condition is the sufficient condition? Then you have to write, whenever derivative of the function becomes 0, then that condition indicates what? The maximum or minimum, to find the maximum or minimum for the function. This is the necessary condition. And the points where dy by dx vanishes means, suppose to find maxima or minima, what we are doing? We are finding dy by dx and we are equating to 0. At what points that dy by dx becomes 0, that points are called what? Stationary points. So maxima minima points are called stationary points, but all stationary points need not be maxima or minima. This is another important point. Maxima and minima points, the points on the function where maximum and minimum values are maximum and minimum value attains, then the points are called stationary points. But all stationary points need not be the maxima and minima, because there may be the point of inflection also, that you will learn next. Okay, see the thing, the same that we have explained graphically at a particular point x is equal to a, as well as at x is equal to b. It's the same thing that we have told. And moreover, my friends, I am talking about what? Continuous curves defined in closed interval. Okay, and these are the maxima and minimum values, and they are called what? Local maxima, relative maxima, local minima, relative minima. Clear? Okay. Suppose in the entire interval, as what we said, the curve changes its sign, means it is greater than, increasing means dy by dx greater than 0, and in that left neighborhood, and dy by dx less than 0 in the right neighborhood, automatically curve is like this only. If dy by dx greater than 0, suppose this is b, and dy by dx is greater than 0, and after that dy by dx less than 0, that means the curve it like this. Suppose the curve dy by dx greater than 0 up to some that point, and after that also dy by dx greater than 0, then imagine what will happen. Until that point it is increases, again after that also the curve increases, after that also the curve going increases. So at this situation we can say that the points are called, and the points are called what is called inflection, points of inflection. That's why, see, if you observe the graph of y equal to f of x, that is equal to x cube, y equal to x cube curve, you consider this curve, what happens in the, this is 0. Until 0, dy by dx is what? Increasing. So it is greater than 0. After that also dy by dx again what? Increasing. If it is it is dy by dx greater than 0 until 0, and dy by dx again greater than 0, means it doesn't changes its sign, it still maintain the same sign. Please try to understand the behavior in the graph. Up to here it is increasing, even after crossing 0 also it is increasing. That means it never changes its sign. And moreover, see here what happens, until 0 the curve increasing, so the curve may be like this. So what is the beauty of this curve? Dy by dx greater than 0 means what? Here what happens, it is if I have drawn the tangents, whenever the curve is situated like this, if I have drawn tangents at each and every point on the curve, always the curve is under the tangents or below the tangents. That is, the curve is like this. This I told you, this is called what? Concave down. Concave down. And here suppose the curve is like this. So if I have drawn any tangent at each and every point on the curve, what happens? The curve lies on the tangents. The curve lies above the tangents. Whenever the curve lies above the tangents, the situation is like this. In this case, I can say that the curve is concave up. Concave up. So up to some point it is concave down, and after that point it is again concave down, up. So the curve concave up to some point, and after that point it is concave down, or concave down up to some point, and after that it is concave up. Then at that particular point I can say that the point is called point of inflection. This is another definition. Already this I told in monotonicity lesson also. And at the point of inflection, the curve never has maxima or minima. Neither maxima nor minima. That means it has no extreme value. It has no extreme value. That's why for y is equal to f of x, that is equal to x cube, then at origin it has no extreme values. That means it is neither maxima nor minima exists at x is equal to 0 for the curve y is equal to x cube. This is very, very important for you, because not every continuous curve possesses maxima and minima. Not every continuous curve possesses maxima and minima. This is also another beautiful example. So at some point it may possess a point of inflection also. That's why maxima, minima are the extreme points, but not all extreme points are maxima, minima. This is also another counter example to give the support for this one. So this paragraph and this concept is very, very useful for you. The terminology is very, very valid for you. Clear, my friends? Now coming to next. This is the most important points in the maxima, minima. So again, what I am going to say is, whenever if non-monotonic curve, if I am talking about it, non-monotonic means it is sometimes it is increasing and sometimes it is decreasing, not at a stretch increasing in the entire interval and decreasing in the entire interval. Yes, whenever we are talking about that curve for continuous curves, so there exists maxima and minima at this different points on the curve. That is important aspect. And between two consecutive maxima, there exists a minima, and between two consecutive minima, there exists a maxima. And maxima and minima points are also called turning points or extreme points, but all extreme points need not be the maxima and minima points. Where the point on the curve where the curve changes its concave up to concave down or concave down to concave up, that point is called the point of inflection. The best example for the curve is f of x is equal to x cube. At that point of inflection, the curve has no maxima and minima, and the necessary condition at which the function has maxima and minima or extreme points is nothing but derivative of the function at that particular point is 0. That means derivative becomes 0 means geometrically what does it mean? There is a possibility of drawing a tangent and which is the parallel to x-axis. So my friend, this is the basic information for entering into the maxima minima, and the terminology is very, very important. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this, please share and subscribe my channel, and soon we will meet with the maxima minima, second order derivative test and third order derivative test. For to solve problems in a maxima minima, what kind of tests will exist, those points we will discuss here. Thank you, my friends. Thank you.